YouTube? This is your boy Oskino Fly, and we about to have another conversation. Lord. We are going to talk about episode 7 of Bel-Air. Now, if you're wondering, I did the first 3 episodes and I reviewed them. And if you're wondering where 4, 5, and 6 is, I did do them. They really didn't come out very good. I didn't feel comfortable pushing it out because I think to me it was really fucking bad. So if this goes well, I may go back and redo them over again. Just let me know in the comment section. But until then, we are going to be talking about episode 7. It's basically Will and Carson throw a house party while Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv attend an art event. Now, the word of the day, and the reason why I'm having this tone of voice is accountability, because I had to watch this twice just to make sure I got all my facts straight. And this is not gonna be like a review. It's more of a, let's say it's more of a rant slash maybe you could learn from this. Especially your fellas there. The word of the day is accountability. And if you've been in the black manosphere, a lot of men talk about how sometimes black women don't have accountability. Black women, I'm not going to be harping on you. This is more or less on Viv's character and Hillary Banks' character. If y'all have been watching the show, the last episode 6, left off with Hillary Banks in lingerie cooking. It continues on here where she finds out that the guy that runs the influence house posted her shit without her knowing. And she gets mad, and she's talking about he can't do that because black women are hypersexualized. Now, whether you agree with that statement or not, and it is sort of true, you fucking did it, Hillary. You the one that fucking did it. If you did not want to hypersexualize yourself, you wouldn't have put yourself in lingerie and did them videos in the influence house. What did you expect was going to happen? And we're gonna get back to Hillary later because that shit it's just one of those things where that's your fault. And she's trying to blame it on the guy because he posted it and he's doing his job. He is an influencer. He runs an influence house. He runs on social media. Of course, he's going to do his job. That's all he is. If you did not want to do that, you shouldn't have fucking put that on there. Now, let's get to Aunt Viv because, oh my God, she done pissed me off in this episode. Now, I'm going to refrain from calling her out of her name because no woman should be called the B word. But Anderson .Paak will. This bitch. Thank you, Anderson .Paak. Now, you have the audacity to get at Uncle Phil because he did, as a provider, is what he's supposed to do. Take care of his woman. Now, if you have been following Bel-Air, Aunt Viv was a painter. She stopped painting, to be basically a housewife for Uncle Phil and take care of the kids. What a man's supposed to do. He protects, he provides, especially the way he does. He's always been that superhero. And the thing is, that's what they talking about, how, do you really want, she goes, do you really want Uncle Phil to do it? When she was talking to Hillary, because even Aunt Viv said, well, you did put yourself in lingerie. He was like, yeah, but, can we get Daddy to do it? And she goes, do you really want Uncle Phil to do it, or do you want to save yourself? Like I said, we'll get back to Hillary later. Uncle Phil gets mad because I guess he took some money out without Aunt Viv knowing, and he was like, well, it's my account, so I figured you wouldn't have a problem with it. Don't move on Uncle Phil, but he also does have a point, and he is running a campaign. But let's not get to that. She goes to this little art expo in San Diego, and light-skinned ass nigga Michael Ealy is there. And I didn't trust this nigga the first time I see him. That nigga is trying to fuck Aunt Viv. I don't give a fuck. So Uncle Phil got Jeffrey, and he did some recon search on him. Jeffrey was like, hey bro, you might want to check on him. You like, I know you trust your wife and all, but that's the nigga you need to worry about. In which I would, like any man would do, be territorial to his woman. What the fuck you was supposed to, and then you get mad that Uncle Phil's being territorial to his wife. What do you think he's supposed to do? That's his fucking job as a man. He's supposed to be territorial. So why obviously she has a problem with that when he confronts cute ass Michael Ealy, pause, with his light skinned ass self, and you know he runs the lines of the women. He was like, oh, you always deal with upper kind of artists. Hey, where are they now? And he was like, well, me and Vivian have is strictly professional. It's like, nigga, you lying. Your light skinned ass. Nigga, nobody believes you. Ain't nobody believes you in this shit. Like, y'all know y'all don't believe Michael motherfucking Ealy in this shit. Anyway, they go, she go do a thing. They go back in a hotel room. They have a little, I don't want to say argument, but it's one of those things where couples have, which is an argument. It doesn't make sense, but it makes sense. But anyway, she had a problem with, she finally tells him, she's like, oh, some radical honesty. She was like, part of me resents you for doing that. And he goes, I never told you to stop. I said, hey, if everything gets too much for you, you won't have to work a day in your life with me. And what she took. And she goes, I kind of resent you. I wish you wouldn't have told me that. Thank you, Anderson .Paak. Look, but let me get back to this. Yo, apple-headed ass. Oh my God. What the fuck you was supposed to expect this nigga to do? He tells you too. Hey, I was a fan of your art. I seen you was being burnt out. You was tired. You was always self-doubting yourself. I gave you a way out. I opened the hatch, but you was the one that jumped in there. We not having that. That's what I'm talking about. You are not both and Viv, and let's get back to Hillary. But before that, and Viv, you should have took accountability in yourself. All that that's happened, that man done gave you a frivolous life, a life that most people wish you had, and you over there resenting that because you wanted to do art, in which you could have still done art on the side. I mean, anybody could have told you, hey man, I understand like most people was focused. You could have had your little me time, sip your little wine, paint your little pictures, which are good by the way. Don't get me wrong, these are just really good by the way. But you could have been doing all that and being a mother at the same time, while being a wife and being supportive. You ain't really have to do it. He just said you ain't got to work a cent in your life, and yet you took it. That is not for him. That is not for you to resent him to do that. If you didn't want that, you shouldn't have done that, but you did. Let's get back to Hillary. Her apple-headed ass. She is a beautiful woman, by the way, but right now, your apple-headed ass is she tells Jazz that, hey, she tells Jazz everything that happened to him. Jazz was like, hey, yo, you look fine as hell, but I know that ain't your style. She was like, that's not my style. And he was all fucked up. Now, she was all built up and angry and all that stuff, and when she finally gets to confront him, he was like, hey, bro, I'm sorry, but I got some people that, fuss with your shit. These two black people talking about, hey, I like a woman that can show off her sexuality. We need more of that. Which one is it? Do you want to be not hypersexualized and know it be about your craft? Or you want to be the thirsty ass chef and you fucking, being in lingerie, doing these cooking shits and talking about we need to, which one is it? Which one? Which one? And you could see the look when people were congratulating her. Hey, Victoria, hey, I know some people from Victoria's Secret. They liked your shit. And then Jazz is like, trying to back her up, trying to be the rock, trying to back her up. Hey man, just take the pictures down. She go, all of a sudden he start flashing money and wait a minute, maybe I should go and listen to them and all that other stuff. He's like, go get me a drink. Left that nigga in the bar. She come back. Hey, they put me all this money and all that stuff. He said, and Jazz being a real nigga that he is, nigga said, damn, you really had to sell your soul though? And then she gets smart with this nigga.
This bitch.
Exactly, Anderson .Paak. I don't fucking believe your applehead ass. You told that nigga how you didn't like doing it. And now that nigga was putting figures in your head, now all of a sudden you want it. And then the worst thing you can do is that, you wouldn't know about it. And he said, that's not the point. He said, he's like, Jazz is like, dog, you dragged my ass out here just to have your back. I was out here trying to have your back and all that stuff because you didn't want that. And she was like, oh, you want gas money or something like that? And I'm like, and Jazz is like, and I'm pretty sure everybody was like, and then Anderson .Paak was like, out your motherfucking mind with your apple-headed ass. And then, you know, Jazz did the smart thing. You know what? Fuck it. Check, please, and walk the fuck out. And then at the end, we get back to Aunt Viv's ass. Talk about, Uncle Phil's like, yo, come on, man, let's get out of here and all that stuff. You know what, Philip? I need to save myself. And then she goes right back to the light-skinned nigga. You don't trust him. I don't trust nobody. I don't trust Aunt Viv. I don't trust that cute-ass nigga Michael Ealy. I don't trust nobody in this shit, right? Everybody in this shit fucked up. Now, the only good thing is, Colton got his nigga wake-up call.
Wake up, nigga.
And he fucked up the white boy's wrist, which is good. So the whole thing about Will throwing the party is that, hey man, you know, let's put you in this good spirits. You don't need that nut-ass nigga, that nut-ass ball, as them Philly niggas would say. And he tries to, Will has sex with Lisa, so, you know, good for him and all that stuff. Carlton gets this nigga wake-up call twice because white boy said something racist, like, because he said, oh, I guess black people not taking over everything. And then, like, Carlton trying to get that nigga to apologize. He was like any other white privileged motherfucker, he said, I'm not apologizing. You know, or fuck you guys. Fuck you guys, I'm going home. Yeah, fuck you too, Connor. That's why you got your wrist broken, bitch ass dude. And then Connor does the most bitch ass thing, calls the police over at his house. Carlton's trying to be all civil and say, hey man, this is my house and all that other stuff. Cops do the cops thing. Stop right there, and all that other stuff. Push that nigga, make that man put his hands behind his head. It wasn't until Lisa had to come down. It's like, hey, my father, you know, he's the sheriff, he's the chief, or something like that. He the head honcho, and he had him on the phone. And if it wasn't for that, Carlton's nigga wake up call would have been a little bit more drastic. So now it's out that Will and Lisa are dating and they like each other. And I don't know where it goes from there because that's where the cliff off nigga is at. I'm glad Carlton's not a bitch ass nigga no more. I hope this stays this way. I don't mind him being so left wing and Republican because that's where he lived up at. And this is the spots that he's been at. And he had to deal with all them stupid ass white folks. But he didn't have to be a bitch ass nigga and make Will do all that dumb shit. That was your fucking cousin. Overall, accountability, people. Please take account. If you want to learn anything from this rant, is take accountability for your own actions. Cause Aunt Viv and Hillary Bates apple-headed asses done got on my nerves on it. And you know what? I don't blame for, you know, I know a lot of men was saying, you know, you shouldn't have been doing that. Look, sometimes you just, you know, you can't blame people. And he even said, look, I was a big fan. Phil was like, nigga, I was the biggest fan of your art. But I was trying to help you out because you was looking burnt out. When someone gives you that leeway and all that other stuff, you should be thankful. In my opinion, you should be thankful and all that other stuff. And you could have still did it. You got someone that had your back and then the first thing you do is spit on his face to a nigga that had your back. You don't deserve him. You don't deserve it. You do not deserve him. Any last words, Anderson Paak?
This bitch.
Exactly. This is your boy Oskino Fly, and I'm out. Peace.
Fancy ass man wear glove or rings, flying around town in a tub of wings. Found out how to make love to fiends. He mixing that fudge with the drug of dreams. She too teenage to have a drug of choice, but she fuck with that Royce like she love Detroit. She rolled.
Pharaoh.